You hurt me. You lied to me. You stabbed me in the back with a smile on your face. You used my loyalty as leverage. You took my kindness and twisted it into weakness. You played the role of friend while planning your betrayal. And I saw it too late. I trusted you. I believed in you. And you used that belief like a weapon. But you didn't break me. You exposed me. You revealed the truth I didn't want to see. You showed me that loyalty is rare and betrayal is real. You reminded me that not everyone clapping is cheering. You reminded me that snakes hiss with compliments. And for that, I thank you. Because now I see clearly. Now I feel nothing. Now I've killed the part of me that needed you. I don't forgive. I don't forget. I build. Not out of love, not out of peace. I build out of rage. I build out of silence. I build out of every scar you left behind. You made me cold. I made me focused. You made me doubt. I made me dangerous. You made me cry. I made me calculated. You thought the betrayal would end me. It did something worse. It transformed me. It burned away my softness. It removed the illusion. And now I don't need closure. I don't need revenge. I don't need apologies. I need progress. I need discipline. I need empire. I let go of the pain and held on to the lesson. You were a test, and I passed it by losing you. I passed it by not going back. I passed it by building without bitterness. Because while you gossiped, I planned. While you lied, I worked. While you hoped I would stay broken, I rebuilt in silence. And the next time you see me, it'll be from a distance. Because access is earned, and you lost it. I used to chase peace. Now I chase growth. I used to need people. Now I need purpose. You were my weakness. Now you're my story. And every brick I stack is proof that I didn't fold. I didn't run. I didn't beg. I built. I stayed in the dark and made it my home. I bled and called it fuel. I suffered and called it training. Because I refused to be defined by betrayal. I'll be defined by what I did after. And what I did was build. Build in silence. Build with pain. Build through every reminder of what you did. Because now, I don't flinch. I don't hope. I don't need. I create. I conquer. I construct something so powerful that not even betrayal can break it again. You thought you were the storm. You didn't know I was the one who becomes steel in the storm. And now I walk different. Now I think sharper. Now I trust slower. But I move faster. Because betrayal doesn't slow me down. It speeds me up. It kills my doubt. It feeds my focus. And it burns every excuse out of my body. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not sad. I'm not broken. I'm building. And when I'm finished, they'll ask how I did it. And I'll say this: I didn't forgive. I didn't forget. I built. You thought I needed closure. I don't. You thought I'd reach out, ask why, beg for the truth. I won't. You thought I'd fall apart without you. I didn't. You thought you broke me. You didn't even scratch the surface. What you did was wake something up. You lit a fire that doesn't burn out. You make me dangerous. Because now I don't love blindly. Now I don't speak freely. Now I don't offer loyalty to the unproven. I became a fortress. No weakness, no softness, no exposure. Every move is calculated. Every step is earned. Every circle I keep is tighter than ever. Because betrayal doesn't just hurt. It teaches. It teaches you who's real. It teaches you where to aim. It teaches you that trust is currency. And most are broke. And I'm rich in lessons. I'm rich in discipline. I'm rich in silence. I don't share plans anymore while I execute them. I don't seek validation. I seek results. I don't need anyone's help. I help myself. Because when I needed people, they vanished. But when I built alone, I became undeniable. Now they watch, now they talk, now they wonder. Because I became something they never expected. Relentless, unshakable, focused beyond emotion. You can't guilt me, you can't shame me, you can't distract me. I buried the old me with the betrayal. I dug the grave with every lie you told. I carved the stones with every fake smile you gave. And I stood over it and said, thank you. Because without that betrayal, I would have stayed soft. I would have stayed open. I would have stayed blind. But now I see everything. And I owe you nothing. Not a word, not a message, not a glance. All I owe is what I'm building. And what I'm building is untouchable. You can't reach it. You can't ruin it. You can't stop it. Because it's built from betrayal. It's built from scars. It's built from silence. And no one can take what they never gave. You didn't give me this strength. You tried to steal it. You didn't teach me this fire. You tried to extinguish it. And now you watch me rise from the damage you caused. You watch me wear pain like armor. You watch me move like I don't bleed. Because I already did. I bled enough to build. And now I build enough to never bleed again. I don't forgive. I don't forget. I build. I remember every word you said. Every lie you told. Every time you looked me in the eye and smiled while plotting behind my back. You weren't just a mistake. You were a mirror. A mirror that showed me what I'd become if I stayed soft. A mirror that reflected my ignorance. My blind loyalty. My naive belief that good intentions protect you. They don't. Good hearts get broken. Real ones get used. But strong ones, they get sharper. They evolve. They adapt. They take the knife out of their back and sharpen it into focus. That's what I did. I used the betrayal as blueprint. A design for discipline. A plan for war. Because this world doesn't reward the loyal. It rewards the relentless. It rewards the cold. It rewards the ones who don't fold under pressure, but sharpen from it. So that's who I became. Not the victim, not the fool, not the one who sits in silence and asks why. I already know why. Because weak people can't handle strong energy. Because truth makes lies uncomfortable. Because loyalty threatens the fake. So they destroy what they can't match. But what they can't destroy, they fear. And now I am that fear. Not because I'm violent, but because I'm silent. Because I no longer react, I no longer explain. I no longer wait for apologies that won't come. I just build. Every insult is a brick. Every doubt is mortar. Every betrayal is concrete onto my foundation. And now my name is being built into something timeless. Into something untouchable. Not from fame, not from followers, but from consistency. From pain. From rebuilding when no one thought I could. And when they see it, when they finally realize what I've become, it'll be too late. Because I'm not looking back. I'm not reaching down. I'm not waiting. I'm building. Every day, every second. Without noise. Without permission. Without emotion. Because that's the difference now. They act on feelings. I act on mission. They crave attention. I crave results. They dwell in drama. I live in discipline. And it shows. It shows in my silence. It shows in my moves. It shows in the way I carry pain like it owes me rent. And it does. Pain pays me now. It funds the empire. It keeps the fire hot. It keeps the grind alive. And when you betray someone who's already been through hell, you don't break them. You just give them direction. You just confirm the path. And now I walk that path alone, but never lonely. Because I've got peace, I've got clarity, and I've got purpose. I don't forgive. I don't forget. I build. You can keep talking. You can keep doubting. You can keep whispering my name like it's a warning. Because it is. I'm not who I was. I buried that version. I buried the softness. I buried the hope. And I dug up hunger. I dug up pain. I dug up power. Now I move different. I move like every second matters. Because it does. Time is blood. And I don't waste blood anymore. Not for apologies. Not for explanations. Not for people who only remember me when they need something. I used to give. Now I take. I take responsibility. I take control. I take back every piece of myself that betrayal tried to break. And I rebuild. Piece by piece. Layer by layer. Until what stands before the world is undeniable. I don't explain my silence anymore. I don't lower my intensity anymore. I don't shrink to fit their comfort zones. Because the people who betrayed you don't deserve your humility. They deserve your distance, your success, your absence. Because nothing hits harder than rebuilding in silence and showing up with something they can't ignore. Not to impress them, but to remind yourself of who you are, of what you're made of how far you've come since the betrayal. You were never meant to stay in pieces. You were meant to rebuild, and now you do it on your terms, without begging, without whining, without waiting. You do it with scars. You do it with grit. You do it with a fire in your chest and an army in your soul. You've been counted out. You've been stepped on. You've been used. And now you're done being soft. Now you're done being available to the unworthy. Now you're done explaining why you're obsessed. Because the world will never understand what betrayal builds inside a real one. It builds force. It builds fire. It builds a version of you that doesn't crack under pressure, but becomes pressure. So no, I don't forgive. I don't forget. I build. I build like my name depends on it. I build like legacy is oxygen. I build like the pain still lives in my bones. Because it does. And every time I get tired, I remember. I remember the betrayal. I remember the silence. I remember the moments that tried to kill me. And I build through them. So let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Because this isn't revenge. This is evolution. I don't scream, I don't post, I don't brag. I just build. And when they ask how, tell them this. I didn't forgive. I didn't forget. I build. And if you felt that, then you already know this world doesn't reward the soft. It crowns the ones who rise cold and build anyway. So stop explaining, stop waiting, and start building. This is Dark Force, and this is how legends are made.